How else can I say it? Recently, I lost this job to AI.
Americans are losing their jobs and unemployment is rising at an alarming rate. But who's to blame? Many point to AI as the culprit, as AI is getting more and more advanced, putting every job besides being an AI developer at risk. However, the truth is that even the people within the tech world are losing their jobs, as a number of notable companies continue to lay off their employees in large numbers. And we're not just talking about small startups, even tech giants like Google and Meta have laid off thousands.
Following Meta closing down Bay Area offices and thousands of tech layoffs since the start of 2025, there is uncertainty looming, certainly over the industry.
For now, it's a matter of people replacing people. Tech companies are laying off their human workers, only to hire human workers elsewhere. And that's why this is the story of why Americans in tech are losing their jobs and where they're going instead. American job market in the tech industry. Romania, Silicon Valley of Eastern Europe. Bengaluru, Silicon Valley of India. When a certain city or country hosts an increasing number of tech startups, it earns the title of local Silicon Valley. This is enough to picture what actual Silicon Valley would be. A tech worker's paradise, filled with all sorts of innovation and opportunities related to the tech industry. Today, we're going to talk about the original Silicon Valley, the tech hub of not just one country or region, but the entire planet. This region in the southern part of San Francisco Bay of California is home to more tech companies than any other place on the planet. San Jose, the largest city in the region, is home to over 6,600 tech companies. And it's not just small or medium-sized ones. We're talking about companies like Adobe, Cisco, Netflix, eBay, PayPal, etc. And that's just San Jose. If we include other cities too, almost no tech giant one could think of would be left out. Companies like Google, Apple, and Meta do not merely have offices, their headquarters are in this region. But as we all know, the US isn't just Silicon Valley, and the American tech market expands way beyond it. Let's take a look at a nearby city, San Francisco. Because of its close proximity to the region, San Francisco has welcomed many tech startups in the recent few years. The most notable among them would be OpenAI. Overall, the San Francisco Bay Area is home to over 478,000 highly paid software engineers. They get paid at an average rate of $105,000 to $188,000 per year. That's more than 1.7 times the salary of an average Californian worker, which stands at $62,000. Moving on to the other states, Texas is home to tech giants like Dell, Tesla, and Oracle. Some other well-reputed companies like MongoDB, IBM, and Verizon have their headquarters in New York. After these three comes Washington, home of companies like Microsoft and Amazon. From the surface, the US seems to be a tech worker's paradise, but there's a saying, all that glitters is not gold. Workers of this so-called thriving industry are losing their jobs.
A little bit about when I was laid off exactly 1 year ago today from my first job as a software engineer.
But why is that happening? Let's understand in the next section. But before that, if you enjoy learning more about today's economic stories, be sure to subscribe. Why are American tech workers losing their jobs? The endless number of opportunities in the US are coming to an end, as almost 428,000 tech workers in the US have been laid off after COVID-19. In 2024 alone, 384 companies laid off more than 124,000 tech workers. Your first thought might be that the tech boom in the US has finally ended and companies aren't making as much money as before, but that's not the case. Maybe some tech companies aren't making as much profit, but employees are being laid off by almost every tech company, including tech giants that are indeed still making bank.
Amazon is cutting hundreds of jobs.
Tesla has laid off thousands of employees.
Google has announced another round of layoffs.
Layoffs in technology just keep coming. The latest, Google cutting hundreds of jobs.
In November 2022, Meta laid off 11,000 employees, which was 13% of its workforce at the time. Following suit, Amazon laid off 18,000 employees, while Alphabet, the parent company of Google, laid off 12,000 employees in January of 2023. Since then, many more tech giants such as Apple, Microsoft, X, formerly Twitter, etc., have also laid off a large number of their employees, and that is despite all of them being in profit, which is evident as the stock price has been going up for all of them, except maybe X. Despite this, these companies have been laying off their employees, and that's because of high salaries. For the salary of one American software engineer, you hire 7 software engineers in India, the Philippines, or even Eastern Europe. But here's the thing, this isn't some brand new strategy. Before tech, manufacturing did it, customer service did it. It's part of an old familiar playbook called outsourcing. Outsourcing has helped companies reduce their costs by a large margin, not just because of lower salaries, but lower costs of everything required in the process. Rent, electricity, computer hardware, and almost everything required by tech companies is cheaper in countries other than the US. Many companies have saved millions or even billions of dollars by offshoring their jobs to less developed nations, significantly increasing profits. While companies may be benefiting from this, the people who are losing their jobs aren't. Companies people have remained loyal to for years are now replacing them with workers from less developed nations, and the most saddening part is that sometimes they're told to train those who will be taking their jobs.
Very demoralizing position to be in, to know that we're coming to work for a company that's going to ship our jobs out to people in India.
This is the harsh reality of offshoring. Multi-million-dollar companies are making millions in profits, and the cost is being paid by their loyal employees. This may be a sad thing to hear, but there's also the bright side. Before we move further, here's a quick note. This section is not to devalue the efforts of American individuals that lost their jobs, but only to highlight the opportunities brought up by offshoring. Outsourcing is benefiting not just American companies, but also the countries from which they hire replacements. Take India, for example. India is estimated to account for 55% of the global tech outsourcing market, meaning most of the American and other tech companies that rely on offshoring look towards India. India's annual tech export industry accounts for $150 billion. That's $150 billion flowing into India every year, paying not just the Indian government in electricity and taxes, but also providing millions of software engineers in the country. And let's be honest, we felt bad for the employees who got laid off, as they deserved this money more than the large companies, so we should also accept that Indians with a higher poverty and unemployment rate deserve these jobs just like Americans. Also, India's per capita GDP in 2023 stood below $2,500, while the US stood above $80,000, meaning if the American government wanted to, they could easily help individuals who lost their jobs during offshoring. On the other hand, India wouldn't be able to do it with that much ease. It's not just India. Brazil, the Philippines, and China are also among the popular destinations for tech outsourcing. South Asia and Eastern Europe are often recognized as regions filled with rapidly growing economies and a great deal of future opportunities. One reason for that is that they are also considered go-to choices for tech companies looking to outsource their workers. Outsourcing helps provide opportunities to people in these underdeveloped and developing nations, creating jobs for the people who live there. These jobs help them provide for themselves and their families. While outsourcing has a bright side for lesser developed nations, we must remember the intention. Companies don't outsource to help people in undeveloped countries. They do it to increase shareholder value and make bigger profits for themselves. We think that companies that lay off employees so that they can save money should be told that they should just pay their laid off employees their full salary for a year. That way, people will have enough time to find new jobs or make alternate plans without immediately worrying about how to provide for their families. Also, if this is implemented, some companies would cancel their outsourcing plans, while others would seek long-term profits. This will ensure a balance between tech opportunities in America and the growth of less developed countries. But hey, that's just what we think. Let us know what your take is. Do you think outsourcing must be welcomed with open arms as it helps underdeveloped and developing countries? Or should the government take extreme steps against it so that the American middle class won't die out? Or do you believe that there's a middle path that benefits both sides, like maybe the one we suggested? Share with us your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to stay tuned.